about, yeah.
Just about. What is our drink of the day, please?
I'm probably going to have a pint of some sort of beer as soon as this is finished, because they've literally got a whole car to empty.
Can I just come into your pub and say, I'll have...
I'd like a pint like that, but gigantic.
All right.
Well, tonight's confession comes from Lisa. Lisa gets today's smart speaker. And just to repeat, if you're having your tea, you might want to just stop having your tea just for a moment. Father, it's just a little bit unsavoury. Father Simon, Sister Susie, Brother Matthew. My story takes place 20 years ago when my husband and my eldest child, I'll call him Jack, was then nearly 2 years old, joined my parents on a trip of a lifetime to South Africa. As keen enophiles, wine lovers, of course, or possibly just very keen alcohol imbibers, we decided to include a trip to one of the vineyards in the Eastern Cape, where we arranged a private wine tasting followed by lunch. Now, most of the people that we met in South Africa were really warm and welcoming, but the staff at this particular establishment were very snooty. They were obviously used to dealing with a certain class of UK tourists, and our George at Asda outfits and snotty toddler in tow were about as welcome as a black fly in your Chardonnay, to quote Alanis Morissette. It's not ironic, but anyway, it's quoting Alanis. The wine tasting was therefore a very uncomfortable experience. Even though my husband worked in the UK wine trade, selling the wines from this vineyard itself, and is genuinely knowledgeable, they seemed determined to avoid engaging with us in a friendly manner, and explained the obvious in a snooty South African accent.
Oh, good. Right, here it comes.
This is a Sauvignon Blanc, which is a white wine. Like, duh, we have eyes. He's a wine expert. And this is a red wine, which should be served at room temperature. They also
Montpellier
made it very clear that they were far too good to be talking to the likes of us. Again, I apologise to our South African listeners who we've heard from last time I tried this. After being patronised for an hour or so, it was time for lunch on the terrace. Of course, the menu was unbelievably pretentious, and they were very unhelpful in offering anything that a toddler might like to eat. Cheese triangles? No. Bowl of chips? No. Plain pasta with cheese? No. They could manage ostrich eggs, biltong, and a 3-cheese fondue. No, thank you. While we waited, it became apparent... Here we go now. It became apparent that Jack's nappy needed to be changed, further lowering the tone. Predictably, there were no baby change facilities, so my mum took him and cleaned him up in the car. When they came back, Jack was toddling around the garden while we waited for the food. When I saw the waiter coming, I scooped him up in readiness for lunch. Imagine my surprise when a small, perfectly circular poo fell out of his shorts.
Yeah,
it rolled down his leg, around the table like a roulette ball, then rolled off and came to a rest beside my mum's foot. With admirable presence of mind and Beckham-like aim, she kicked it, and it shot across the patio into a bush with seconds to spare before the waiter arrived. And there it sat, waiting for discovery.
Wow.
And discovery would have come eventually, but fortunately we weren't there. They could well have thought that it was from a wandering springbok, the animal, not the rugby player who lost to Scotland in that earlier confession.
Yeah.
It could have been a black rhino or a mountain zebra, but probably not an English toddler with a loose nappy. But that is basically it. I need to ask forgiveness, Father Simon, not from the stuck-up vineyard owners who, quite frankly, deserved nothing less, but from any subsequent diners who noticed the unwelcome deposit, thus putting them off their overpriced meal, and from those sitting near us who had their lunch disturbed by our tears of laughter at Jack's simple but effective restaurant review, which is very good.
Yeah.
So Lisa and Jack, and a story from the Eastern Cape, and a welcome return to my extraordinary Southern African accent. Sister Susie is the voice of authority and responsibility.
Well, I'm feeling quite forgiving today. Maybe I haven't had enough sleep, but I just think you didn't really do that much wrong. You didn't do it on purpose, and they were pretty mean. And I like the South African accent, so I'm going to forgive.
Thank you very much. See?
Yeah.
See? Brother from another gutter.
Well, I've never obviously kicked a what we're referring to as what was coming out of Jack there. And, never mind. I don't think they normally have that kind of consistency. So well done to Grandma for managing to welly it into the hedge. And for that reason, I am going to forgive. But the least said about the accent, the better, frankly.
Oh.